You know that feeling when you're stressed out but you can't even put your finger on why? Well, you are in the right place. We're about to dive into a fantastic guide that lays out 5 super simple, practical steps to help you find your calm and, actually start enjoying life.
Does this sound familiar at all? Your mind is just scattered, you don't really have a clear direction, maybe you feel a little lost, and this can happen even when things are supposed to be going great, right? It's a feeling that is way more common than you'd think in this crazy, nonstop world of ours.
Well, here's the good news. The source for this explainer says you are definitely not alone. It suggests there's actually a deeper, spiritual reason for all this noise in our heads, but, and this is the important part, it also offers a clear way forward with 5 simple, practical solutions. So let's start by really understanding the problem.
So where does all this internal chatter and stress come from anyway? The author has a perfect, and I mean perfect name for it.
It's called the monkey mind, and I just love that description. It's such a perfect picture, right? It's that restless, chattering part of our brain that just refuses to be quiet. It's always swinging from one worry to the next, one distraction to another, and it never, ever gives us a moment of peace.
So why does this monkey mind have such a powerful grip on us? Well, the source points to this concept called Maya, which basically means delusion. It's described as this really powerful force that's super hard to escape, and it's the thing that keeps us tangled up in all that mental chaos.
Okay, so if the big problem is delusion, then it makes sense that the goal is to find something real. And that brings us to our next section, finding what the author calls your true self.
So the whole point of these practices isn't just about feeling a little less stressed. It's much bigger than that. The idea is to bypass that Maya, that delusion, and connect with the deeper, more authentic part of who you are. The source suggests that when you do that, you can actually start to rewrite your life story, to make it one that's really in tune with your true purpose.
Be proactive, take some practical steps to reorient your life. This quote really hits the nail on the head. It's not about just sitting around and waiting for things to magically change. It's a call to action. It's all about empowerment.
All right, now for the main event. This is what you came for. We've talked about the problem, we've talked about the goal, so now let's get into the practical stuff, the 5 steps to enjoyment.
Okay, so we're going to walk through each of these one by one, enjoying nature, listening to your inner music, asking those big questions, trying a really simple form of meditation, and finally, a super powerful reminder to just enjoy life without feeling guilty. Let's kick it off with number 1, which might just be the easiest one to start with.
So our first step is all about getting out of our own heads and into the world around us.
The instruction here is beautifully simple. When you're out in nature, try to leave your worries behind. The whole idea is to stop doing and just be. This is a direct counterattack on that monkey mind, because it gives it nothing to latch onto. You just let the essence of nature, its being, mix with your own.
And it all boils down to these 2 simple but honestly pretty profound words. Just be. Forget the to-do list, forget your goals for just a moment, and just give yourself permission to exist in that pure, present moment.
Next up, let's look at step 2.
This one kind of builds on that idea of presence, but this time it's about tuning in, not out. The suggestion is so simple. When you wake up before the day and that monkey mind come rushing in, just sit, relax, and listen. Not to the world outside, but to the quiet inside. The source actually promises that your being will sing a melody you've never even heard before.
And get this, here's a really fascinating and kind of quirky tip from the author. If you're right-handed, try listening with extra attention through your right ear. It's a strange little detail, right? But hey, sometimes it's those memorable little things that make a practice actually stick. Now for step 3, we're going to look up and wonder.
Time to broaden our perspective a little bit.
This step is all about reconnecting with a sense of awe, which is a great way to cut through that delusion of Maya. Just go outside on a clear night, look up at that vast, incredible sky, and just ask the big questions that are really on your heart. The goal isn't to get some immediate answer, but to just let yourself be filled with wonder and amazement, reminding yourself that you're part of a much, much bigger picture.
Okay, step 4. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking when you hear this next one. Oh, I don't have time for that, or it's just too complicated. But wait, check this out.
This is the key. Forget all the complicated techniques. You don't need expensive apps or special classes. The author's advice is just so refreshingly simple. Just sit still, you can even lie down, and pay attention to your breath coming in and going out. That's it. That is meditation at its most basic, essential, and accessible core.
And finally, we've arrived at step 5. And this one isn't just another technique, it's really the philosophy that ties this whole thing together.
The message here is so important. Life is meant to be enjoyed. The source makes it crystal clear that we shouldn't feel guilty for taking pleasure in being alive, with just one simple condition, that we don't hurt anyone else in the process. The first 4 steps are the how, but this, right here, is the why.
Okay, we've covered a lot. We looked at the problem, the ultimate goal, and 5 really practical steps. Now comes the most important part of all. What are you going to do about it?
And here is the author's final, powerful piece of advice, captured in one single word. Start. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it's never going to come. Just pick one of these ideas and begin.
So that's the question I want to leave you with. Looking back at those 5 steps, which one is calling to you right now? Which one feels like something you could try maybe for just 5 minutes today? Because as they say, the journey always begins with that single first step.